that whole benevolent, like entrepreneur capitalist thing, like philanthropic. You know, he was exploiting people, but he was against slavery. So chattel kind, just the chattel kind.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's start businesses.
It reminds me of what we were talking about earlier in the sense of like, and it's why I brought it up, like there's different kinds of slavery, because I was literally imagining the person where that they make that their whole thing is like trying to just end they say modern slavery, but it's just like, we're just talking about this kind. It's like, that kind is tied to the big wage slavery kind, right?
Mm-hmm.
You realize the capital accumulation and subservience and all of that, like the spectrum is like the spectrum of slavery is largely being held together by this.
Yeah, and also like a not unnotable amount of like our economy just exists still from that
that's
industry.
What I'm saying.
And all of our infrastructure was built through it.
And it's just exporting. It's like if the people have less resources, less opportunity, you just get to these firms can just exploit them even more depending on the country or the region or whatever.
What's that Graeber quote? It was like, some people were trying to get better conditions for the slaves, and most people were like, no, there shouldn't be any slaves.
Yeah,
I remember seeing like a Richard Wolff video who was talking about how the liberals back then would be like, oh, the conditions for the slave were so bad.
Right.
And then like other people were like, maybe
fuck
just
all
no
of
slaves.
No slaves.
Yeah, it's like it extends further than just chattel slavery. It's like, and even it's like it's gets fuzzier because it's like, no, well, I have a TV and a PS5, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would call that slavery.
Okay, the personal attacks have got
I'm a
to
slave.
stop.
Well, guess what? I have PS Plus, and that's only like $20 a month.
Right. But I also think about people I've seen, they make over 6 figures a year, and they want to fucking blow their brains out.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe the numbers in your bank account don't just like fix what you're psychologically putting or being. I guess if you're making that much money, you are putting yourself through it to a certain degree. But
I mean, like,
but you're a wage worker. You're still if you don't have a job, you can't just go and fuck off and live, even if you're making that six figures or whatever. It's like, there's a psychological price that's being paid. And
well, it's just so funny because it's like, we've been having these conversations for a couple years now, so I've had a couple jobs since then, and it's just funny when like our boss, for example, it's Thanksgiving week, and we might work tomorrow, or we are going to work in office tomorrow. I work a hybrid job, and it's just like I was on like a Slack chat where it was like a couple of my coworkers basically together asking him, is it cool if we just don't come in because there's not going to be a lot to do? And he was just like, yeah, no. And it's just so funny because it's like, it comes down to literally one person saying yes or no.
Yeah.
It's like
your autonomy.
Like you could, maybe I'll give you a raise, but probably, forget about it. Literally that happens. Like a boss will entertain a raise and then can just be like,
you're like, you want to check how much money we have? I feel like we have more money than you think. Like, no,
that's not really any of your business.
It's not really in my interest to look.
Just go generate all the revenue, okay?
Yeah.
Don't ask questions.
Get back on the hamster wheel, you fuck.
Yeah.
You fuck.
You sweet fuck.
You sweet
fuck, all right?
You're a sweet little fuck. I love you.
That sweet fuck. That's.
I see you Monday. You're a sweet little fuck. I love you. And you know what? There's so many, as someone who doesn't work a 9 to 5, I will say there's so many conditions that are being let slide, be just purely on the basis that they're a little bit better than that. It's like everything is just on a gradient of the same shit, but it never just reaches like, what if we just didn't do this?
That's what I mean by the spectrum of slavery.
It's you'll always, I mean, it's like, there's always going to be someone with a prod being like, you gotta do this.
And the seed is hierarchy, just to be clear. Like the spectrum of slavery, the seed is hierarchy. That's the through line for the whole thing.
And I mean, bro, I feel like talking about this maybe will get me in trouble, but I don't care anymore.
I feel like you have at least one of those every
Bro,
every episode.
every other day, man. This past weekend, one got just a nice little note that the accounting department at WME is holding one of my checks because when I was working last year, I told them just take your commission out. I don't want to think about it. They didn't do that. Sent me an invoice after the money was already gone. So now I just owe them money.
Right.
And while doing this, sent me a last minute job a last minute offer to go 5 hour drive to Ithaca to perform at Cornell with I think maybe 6 or 7 hours notice. Got to get a rental car, all this shit just to get up there to do this job that's going to pay some of that money off. And do I have a choice? Not really.
Right.
No. And then I go up. It's a fun show. I've been up there before. I performed there last year. I had a good time, but all colored by the fact that like, oh, I just owe these people money.
No,
regardless of
fully validate you. If I had to drive 5 hours last minute for that reason, that would be exceptionally bleak.
Because you owe.
Because I owe money.
Like Tony Soprano is.
Yeah.
You literally
like, right.
You fucking earn. You're going to go out there and you're going to fucking earn.
Listen, Yedoye,
money.
you fucking funny fuck. You're going to go say a grab fuck.
You sweet fuck.
You sweet little
fuck. You're a little sweet fuck.
I love you.
I love you. And you're going to earn.
You're going to make your little money.
He's a top earner. Makes him laugh. What do you think? Gotta do a show.
Who are you again?
You know WME.
Yeah.
You gotta go make a bunch of kids laugh, and they don't even understand this reference.
White Men Enterprises. Have you heard of it?
Yo.
Got him.
Yeah.
Chet Hanks talking about we coming for you. WME.
Sound effects.
I can't even do it.